January the 13th, 2026. And it's still very snow covered out here, even though we cleaned up the other day. It has snowed a little bit more, so we'll have to do a little cleaning up today maybe. But I just checked all the weather and everything. We got the skies clear up to about 9,000 feet, it says. Winds at 3,000 feet, which is kind of where I like to hang out, 3,000 to 4,000 feet, is showing 7 miles an hour. So that shouldn't be an issue. Nobody's reporting any turbulence to a few folks that are out flying. And so hopefully we can fly a little bit today and not have to kill ourselves before we get back. So I got to get the plane cleaned up, get the wing covers and the engine covers, do a good pre-flight on everything, and then hopefully the weather still be good enough where we can get out and fly a little bit and get a little bit of time in. But we'll see. Let me get all this stuff done, and we'll talk. Bye. All right, I don't know if this is working or not. It looks like we got some video going. I'll try some different angles and stuff today. It is, let's see, like I said, January 13th, and it is 11:06. Weather showing VFR for Wasilla. Let's see what we got. We got some, that's out toward Talkeetna. So we're showing winds calm, 10 miles. Winds aloft, 8 miles an hour at 3,000 feet, so that shouldn't be an issue. We'll probably, and that's what I was afraid would happen. All right, this thing ain't gonna hold. So we'll just use this thing as a controller for the GoPro. Okay. There we go. So yeah, you want to be looking at my beautiful face. If that hurts you guys' feeling. All right. So the new iPhone is going to be a controller. So that's what we're going to use it at. You can hear me, but you won't see me. I'll set that right there. Maybe it'll be better off. I'm going to go ahead. It's kind of, it's cold today, but I mean, cloud-wise, it's not that bad. So I'm going to see if I can't get out of this parking spot here. Sound like folks are going from runway 4. I'm going to taxi down there. I see Blue River right there. That's our local flight school. It's actually a pretty good flight school. Where I got mine from. My license. Kind of weird though. The people teaching you how to fly airplanes are at best in their 20s. Some of them are still teenagers, I think. I don't know that for a fact, but I've seen some really young folks over there. Let's see here. We're going to scroll down here. I just still got to do a run up. Now, see what we get. So, in the interest of
traffic, 1-4 Fox is clear over runway 4.
Not making a bunch of unnecessary videos, I'm going to turn this off. And we'll get back together when we get ready to head out. All right. All right, so I'm going to do me a quick run up. I don't know if you see we got an airplane up in front of us, but he's going to come up and take off, I think. So I'm just going to sit here, check everything out. We got her leaned up. We're going to push her up to 2,000 RPMs. Making sure that oil pressure's good. All right, we're good there. Check the right mag.
Wasilla is 9 Hotel's clear runway
Good.
4 on the south side of the runway.
Left mag. Looking good. And carb heat check. Looking good. Down to idle. Looking good. Idler back up. Alright, turn that back off. I gotta get my little Century box hooked up here. I forgot to hook it up. Wait a second, I just hook her into the battery. Click her on there.
For the helicopter on the south side of Wasilla, you guys are staying clear, right?
Hey, Colonel, we'll be clear of the runway.
Alright, thank you very much. 14 Foxtrot is taking runway 4 for a right crosswind departure to the south.
Flaps are set. We are on the left tank, which is at 3/4. Right tank is full. Checking our controls. Controls are good. Everything's steering well. Oil temp, let's get our weather.
Temperature -18 Celsius. Dew point -20 Celsius. Altimeter 2955. Remarks: freezing rain. Information not available.
Got that altimeter.
Wasilla Airport. Automated weather observation 2013 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition overcast 7,000. Temperature -18 Celsius. Dew point -20.
Alright, there's our weather. We got our altitude set. Looks like our instruments. We'll make a small adjustment on that. Make sure that's correct. And again, oil pressure is good. Temperature's coming up. It's at 97, which is good to take off with. Alternator's throwing it out. Cylinder head temps are good. DGT is good. Alright, alternator's on, avionics on, lights are on. Attitude is good. Alright, and we are on the left tank.
Wasilla traffic, 4714 Foxtrot is on flag crosswind departing to the south.
So far, everything looks good. Let's go see what we got up here. So I know, because I can see the mountains over here, I know the valley's clear. Everything looks clear to the north on my radar here, but we'll know as soon as we get up there. Make his call. Wasilla traffic, Tripacer 2327 Papa's going to be holding short. Runway 4, looking for traffic. Wasilla. Always get a CO reading when I'm sitting here, but clears out pretty quick. Negative response for Wasilla 2327 Papa. Going to be lining up on runway 4, departing the area probably out to the south. Wasilla. Check. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, when everything's white like this and your windows are halfway covered in ice, it's hard to tell exactly where you're at. But I can kind of see here. Alright, we got our lights there. I got the center of the runway. Let's throttle up. Alright. Everything's in the green. Oil pressure is good. Temps are good. Speed is alive. Alright, there's 60. Start pulling back a little. Got right rudder. And we're off the ground. Our climb out here. Keep an eye on these gauges. Okay. Nobody out there. Wasilla traffic, 27 Papa turning right cross runway 4, Wasilla. Keep an eye out here. Coordinated. So far, so good, folks. Looking good, looking good. Climbing out at 80. Temperatures are starting to come up a little. What I want, because it is cold in here. Can't see jack out that window right now. So traffic 275 is going to be turning right downwind for 04 and be parked in the area. Getting a little bit of wind over here. Not too bad yet. Still climbing. I got somebody out in front of me. He's 10 miles out. Yeah, we're not going to go to the right for sure. We're definitely going to stay in the area. I see nothing but clouds over there. In fact, we're going to go ahead and level out here. Alright, we are, where are we at here? 1,600 feet. May just kind of hang out here today and piddle around a little bit. Go out toward the hay flats here. That are mixture. This is our trim here, kind of like in a boat. You want the thing, you got it leveled out, you want it leveled out. We're definitely not going north. Well, we ain't going to go south. We're just going to hang out here. I tell you what, though, this is the first day that it's been usable weather in a while, and that's still cold as shit. Wonder, so we're over an area right now called the Hay Flats. I've spoke about them before in my videos. Which is basically Hay Flats. It's basically just a basin out here. Trying to think of how to explain it. It's a big bay. So like if you followed the Hay Flats down a few miles down there, you'd be in the ocean. And I don't want to be in the ocean right now because it's cold. So we're not going that way. But we're flying, the part that we're flying over here is generally, especially during the summertime, it's all green, covered with grass. I'm assuming that's why they call it the Hay Flats. You see a lot of moose out here, especially here in the summertime. They'll be out here grazing and stuff. Pretty neat. So, I can't see out the window. If, let's see, if the weather holds, go out toward the glacier. I don't know. I know there's been folks out there landing on the glacier. I probably won't be, but I know there's been some folks out there. And right now, I don't want to jinx it. The air's kind of smooth. I got a headwind. We're showing about 112. Ground speed is 93, so what is that, 10, 15 mile an hour headwind, something like that. Which isn't horrible as long as the air's smooth. That's actually not bad. The weather forecaster guy at the airport, which is not really a guy, said that the temperature is negative 18 Celsius. Not really sure what that means. Let's see here. See if I can figure out what it means on our end. So we're showing 6 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. Which that's not bad. Definitely flown a lot worse than that. Got her leaned out pretty good. Usually these planes, you lean them out really good, they'll, one, you're not going to burn as much fuel, and two, makes the engine run better. And it makes it run a little warmer too. So as long as you stay within the correct ranges on your temperature, your cylinder heads and everything, you shouldn't have any issues. So the direction I'm going, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, we're heading toward Palmer, which is where the flight school is at. And that big valley right there, if you can see it, is, if you go through there, that's where the glacier's at. Now, a lot of times, the winds coming off that glacier, you won't feel them until you get into the valley right there. So sometimes I'll go out there thinking I'm going to go see the glacier, and then I get there and I'm like, no, I'm not seeing the glacier today. So I'm not going to veer off too far either. It looks like the clouds over to my left are coming in pretty good, so we're just going to hang out in this area today. That way, if we need to go back, we can go back. Of course, we got Palmer Airport's directly in front of us, and to my right behind me, I got Birchwood, and both of those areas are clear. So if we run into an issue with the weather, we can always go to one of these two airports here. That's one of the things when we're out here flying, especially up here, which you do it everywhere, but especially up here, you always have a way out, because you never know when something's going to happen and you need to get out of the sky. And that's why there's so many flight schools in this area. Even the ones in Anchorage will come up here to practice their maneuvers, because you got all this flat land here around these mountains, and it gives you lots of opportunities. So if you were to lose an engine or run into some kind of trouble, there's plenty of options for you to sit down. You can, especially in the wintertime, you can sit down right here in these hay flats. Of course, the snow's a little deep right now, but do what you got to do. Right now, we're fixing to come over to the Glen Highway. I'm going to make a call. Hay flats area traffic. Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa is over to Glen Highway 2100 eastbound, and that's it. Tri-Pacer. Once we get over here, usually once I cross this area here, I'm going to tune in to Palmer's radio channel, because it's kind of like a line for me. Once I cross the highway, I'm in Palmer. On the other side, I'm in the hay flats. So that's how I manage that. Let's see where we're at. We got plenty of battery. All right, we're going to keep on recording then, and then I can pick this video apart clear. Yeah, so right now we're doing pretty good. Air is smooth right now. Yeah. We got a 10-mile-an-hour headwind. Again, the air is smooth, good headwind, which is, it's not bad, so we're doing good. Everything is nice right now, so I'm enjoying that. I'm starting to get a little heat out of there, heater here a little. Takes a little while. I'm going to move over toward this mountain a little bit. I don't know a whole lot about flying over these mountains and stuff, but one of the things that I've read, because that's one of the things, they don't really teach you that in flight school. They teach you how to fly the airplane, but mountain flying is that's a whole different classroom. But one of the things I do know is when you're flying, you can either go to the right or to the left. And the reason for that, especially when you're flying through a valley, is if the wind's flowing, which we're getting a headwind, so it probably doesn't matter a whole lot, but when it's flowing over the mountains, it's going to come down one of the mountains, which is going to give you a downdraft, and go up the other side, which will give you an updraft. So typically when you're flying through these valleys, you want to be on the updraft side if you can. And right now, I don't think we have an updraft where we're at, because the winds are coming down the valley, not across the valley. But either way, we're going into a valley, so we want to hug one side of the mountain or the other. And part of the reason for that is if we run into trouble, like we're going to hug the right side. So if we run into trouble, we got maximum amount of area to turn around. You don't want to sell yourself short on that. Definitely want to give yourself plenty of room. I'm doing my checks. I'm still looking around. You know, when we're flying out here, at least for me, and that's what they taught me, so I do it. I don't want to veer away from it, is we're constantly, you know, scanning our area, looking for other aircraft. And I got this little widget up here. It shows me most of the airplanes, if they have certain equipment on them. It tells me where they're at. But now up here, a lot of these Super Cubs and stuff, these people flying out in the middle of nowhere, they don't have anything on them that's projecting out a signal, letting people know where they're at. Fortunately, the school over here to my left, they do. So I see 2 of their planes over there flying around right now. But we're constantly, what I was getting at, we constantly scan the sky. And even though, you know, collisions are unlikely, they do happen. And typically, it's in congested areas. And this is considered a congested, I think, personally. There's a lot of flights going on around here, especially with the schools and stuff. And in the summertime, this valley here is like a playground for pilots. They come out here and do their off-airport landings and practice all that nonsense. So right now, I just felt a little bump coming into this valley here. Not bad yet, but that may be indicative to what we're fixing to come into. If it starts getting bumpy, I'm just going to turn left and we'll head back toward Palmer Airport over here to my left. And I'm trying this new camera setup. I got the camera mounted up here behind me. Hopefully it's working out. We'll get back here and see what we got. One of the things, especially, I keep stuff in the summertime, but especially in the wintertime, I got a duffel bag in the back seat here that is full of survival gear and stuff. Because even back here, you know, if you have to go down, especially if you know, get hurt or something, you need something to keep yourself going. Because this weather will kilt you pretty quick. So, yep, coming into the valley, I'm starting to feel some turbulence. Not bad yet, but I am feeling them. So, let's see where we're at here. Yeah. I know you can't see it on the camera. It's not horrible yet. Not horrible. Let's see what we got up here. This starts rocking me pretty hard. I'll turn around, but I would like to go out here. I've been out here this winter. So we're gonna, not too shabby yet, but this mountain to my right over here may be giving me some protection. Actually, headwind hasn't really picked up that much. Let's see here. All of our controls are still looking good. We're just floating right now, bro. Now, let's flip over. I'm supposed to flip over to that other channel. Probably start hearing some of the flight school traffic over here. Too busy talking and didn't realize I flipped over. Which, there's nobody out here where I'm at right now anyway. At least nobody shooting out a signal. So where are we at on our, so right now we're showing a 15-mile-an-hour headwind. So we got 15 miles an hour coming at us, which is, that's kind of borderline for me. I don't like getting into, because the problem is when you got a 15, 20-mile-an-hour headwind, when you go to turn out of here, you're going to have a 15 to 20-mile-an-hour crosswind until you get turned around, and that can make things a little sketchy. So I want to keep an eye on that.
Final P4.
Holding 2,000 feet right now. Speedometer saying we're running 115 miles an hour. Ground speed is 99, so 15-mile-an-hour headwind essentially. But that's doable on this plane. These planes typically are really good in a crosswind. But now, one of the things this airplane's got is droop wingtips on it, which was put on aftermarket, obviously. So those are really. Those are really good when you're coming into land because it kind of cups the air up under the wings and helps typically helps to stabilize the airplane when you're coming into land, if you don't have a heavy crosswind. I found that in this plane, if you got heavy crosswinds, those wingtips love to scoop that air, and it'll toss your plane around quite a bit. So they're both a blessing and a curse. If I end up keeping this plane, I think what I'm going to do is extend these wingtips out a little bit, because this is a short wing Viper. And by extending the wingtips out, that'll give it a little bit more lift for short runways.
You got it.
Help us get off the ground a little faster, and that's useful out here. Another thing I'd like to do is to convert this aircraft into a tail wheel. If I was in the lower 48, I probably wouldn't bother.
Hello, traffic 570, crossing K10 at Alpha.
However, up here, you can't really, a lot of them you can't, but a lot of these off airport runways are very short, and you need a tail wheel, because it provides, like raising your truck up, it provides a lot more clearance for your prop. And you can put big bush wheels on it, which also helps you, they act like shocks. They help you absorb a lot of the ground features, you know, when you're coming into these rough airstrips, whereas with the setup that I have right now, if I was to do that and hit a rock or something, it might knock the front wheel off of this thing, and then I would bury the nose of it. And then the way this plane was built to begin with, it has a small clearance between the front wheel and the prop anyway, so
That's for Zulu left downwind 34.
it wasn't really built in this configuration to be used off airport. So if it's going to continue to be an Alaska airplane, if I, keep it up here or whatever, then that's definitely something we're going to have to look at doing. Either that, or we're going to sell it and get something that's already converted, which is actually the cheapest route to go. The only good thing about doing it, having it done, is you can have it done the way you want it done. I think makes a difference. I like having things the way I want. Man, it's finally cleared up out here a little bit. Still got a pretty low ceiling. I'm at 2,000 feet. Actually, I'm lower than that. I dropped a couple hundred feet. I'm 1,800 feet. That's another thing you can do sometimes. You start getting these turbulence in the mountain. You can either get really low or you can get really high. Really high is not an option for us today because we have these clouds up here. Last thing you want to do is be flying through a cloud.
Palmer Radio, commuter 50
in a mountain range.
Has information. Delta's at the Blue River hangar. Will be taxiing the 34 for departure.
So we can.
50467, Palm Radio, good morning. Traffic, Centaur aircraft, close traffic, runway 34. Have the Skywaggon holding short 34 for departure.
All right, we're almost at half a tank on the left. I'm going to switch to the right.
Hello, traffic 570, taking off runway 34, staying the pattern.
Set me a timer on that one because
final clear.
that fuel gauge isn't the most accurate one. The one on the left isn't too bad. One on the right, a lot of times just tell you all kinds of weird stuff. Man, is it nice out.
Contact Memphis is the final 34.
All right. Yeah, man, we're just cruising. Yeah. Actually pretty nice, though.
Palmer Radio, this is Cessna 6164 Foxtrot at the west wing of taxi 234 with Delta.
6164 Foxtrot, Palm Radio, roger. Traffic 2 aircraft, close traffic 34 and a Cessna 150 taxiing for departure.
Palmer Airport's pretty busy for a small airport, man. And it's because of all these doggone flight schools out here. They're constantly flying. Even when, sometimes I think they're flying when they shouldn't be flying, but they do it anyway. Directly in front of us is the glacier. You see the mountaintops, and then all of a sudden you see a bunch of white. Again, I'm not sure what it's looking like on the camera right now. But that's your glacier in front of you. To me, man, back in the summertime when you're coming through here, It ain't much. There's not a whole lot that's prettier out here. So to the right over here, there's an area called Lake George that's frozen over, obviously.
Palmer traffic clear, 50467 is crossing 10 on Juliet.
That's one of the places that people like to land their planes.
Traffic 570, let's cross at
In the wintertime, it gets, like I said, it gets frozen. People just come out here and hang out on the glaciers and stuff out there on the lake. I don't know if we're going to be able to get over there or not. Right now, it's not feeling too bad. So we'll make a judgment call when we get there. Last thing I want to do, get myself in a situation like we did the other day. Or just be careful. I'm kind of a fair weather flyer. I like to, especially in this plane. Like I said, it can be a little touchy, this guy can. If I had a bigger Cessna or something, it wouldn't be as bad. But this little guy here, even though it's a four-seater, it's very, you know, like I said before, it's very stubby. People who know these planes, they know. And they're, like I said, they're very capable airplanes. A lot of people turn them into bush planes. But they have quirks, man. My instructor, when I was going through flight school, described it as a pilot's airplane because you don't get in this thing and set your autopilot, because there isn't one. You fly this son of a gun. And it's not just, you know, set your controls and forget. All right, so we're getting some turbulence here. But yeah, you got this, you're constantly working your feet in this plane. Let me slow her down here. See what we got. Yeah, I'm getting turbulence. I'm going to go ahead and turn her around. Getting pretty shitty right here. Coming over that lake. We're going to go ahead and turn a 180. It looks kind of shitty back there anyway. We'll just turn around here. So we're just out for a fun flight today. There's no point taking unnecessary risk out here. Especially when, like I said earlier, you know, a bad call can unalive you pretty quick. See how we got to the end of this now. We was hugging that mountain over there, so which gave us plenty of room to make this turn right here. Now, looking forward out there, it looks like weather is coming in. It's pan out here. Not really showing anything on the radar, but I can see it. So we'll see. I don't know if it just looks worse because we're so far away from it, but we're flying into it. I can still see the butte, and if you can see the butte, you can get into Palmer Airport. I can see past out there too, so we're probably okay.
3570, final 34, Palmer traffic.
You know, these clouds and stuff, the weather's not perfect. But man, when it's like this, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time when the weather's like this, the air is nice.
4714 Foxtrot, inbound for runway 34.
We're gonna come over here to the right, or right now, which was our left.
7 miles.
Hang out over here a little bit. So again, gotta give ourselves plenty of room to turn. In fact, I wanna, I'll stay here. We're at 2200. I fluctuate a lot. A lot of things too, this, any plane, you give it a lot of throttle, it automatically is gonna wanna climb. Regardless of where you got your controls. It's just, you give it throttle when it wants to climb, you pull the throttle, it wants to fall. So, anytime you add throttle to this thing, it's gonna climb, it's gonna inch its way up a little bit, and you can adjust that with your trim right here. Little nose down trim. Yeah, looking at these gauges, everything over here is in the green, alternator's good. Our cylinder head temps are 317, 18. In the summertime, that'll get up to the 380s sometimes. 42.
Palmer traffic, Cap 9 for Zulu, turn final, runway 34.
I am thankful to get out a little bit today. I hope I can have a decent flight anyway. It's going to be a short flight, but anyway, we'll get out for a little bit. I haven't been able to get out for a while, man. This weather has been horrible around here. So I'm getting a little bit of bumpy rest right here, so that headwind is a tailwind now. I'm getting around these mountains now. It's coming through here. It's giving me a little bump, but it's not bad. Little bumps are okay. Big bumps are not okay. Not with me anyway. Some people don't care, but I do.
Palmer traffic, 570, turning left downwind 34, Palmer traffic.
That's just these mountains here. I want to slow it down a little bit. See if we can lose a little altitude, get out of these bumps. Start sinking. Throttle it down too much. Get a little closer to the ground. That's one way, when it gets really bumpy, you want to slow your airplane down.
Foxtrot is on the 45 degree about to enter.
Slow your plane down. You don't hit those turbulences hard. Kind of softens the effect a little bit. And you can lose altitude. You get down low. Like I said, most of the times you get down low like that, it's not as bad. But you just kind of have to play it, man. You have to play it by ear, I guess, so to speak, and see
Palmer traffic,
what happens. So
6169 Golf, 3 miles to the east, inbound, runway 34, Palmer.
Yeah, I think we're good. I do see them clouds coming into Wasilla. We'll run back over that way, I think. See what it's like over there.
Palmer traffic, 14 Foxtrot is on the, entering downwind for runway 34 on the 45.
Put myself, call it speed tape. It's just aluminum tape around my window over here. Because there was air floating. You don't notice it in the summertime, but dang, in the wintertime, man. Feel that cold air seeping through that windshield over there. So kind of put some aluminum tape, we call it speed tape, around the window. A little air conditioner vent, or I guess that's what you call it. I can tell a difference. It helps. I did that last year. Last year I did it with duct tape because I couldn't find no speed tape. Either way, it worked. We're down almost 1,500 feet. Just poking along. Still descending. Starting to get cool in here though. Those cylinder heads are cooling off.
Traffic, 570, final 34, Palmer traffic.
Start giving us a little bit more throttle here. See, that was going down, telling me I was dropping altitude. Now all I did was give it some throttle, and it's back up to where it was. The plane just kind of does that on its own. One of the things my instructor told me, it was kind of cool. He said, take your hands off the controls, because it was a really smooth day. So I did. And all the dude did was he pulled the engine out, or pulled the throttle out, all the way down to an idle. And of course the plane slowed way down until the nose dropped into a stall, and then as soon as it got its speed back up, it just leveled back out again. And it would do that in steps, and which was amazing to me because, you know, these planes, the way they want to be flying, you know, as long as everything's intact.
6169 Golf, 1,400.
They want to fly.
The east, going to be crossing over midfield, joining left down 134 Palmer.
But you know, you never know what's going to take place, and sometimes, you know, bad things happen. Just hope and pray that it don't happen to us.
Palmer traffic, 14 Fox is turning final 34.
They say one of the things, you know, that's very helpful is, you know, flying a lot, which I do, but is, you know, of course you have to do a flight review every 2 years, I think it is, and then that's where you have to go up with an instructor and they check your abilities, make sure you're still.
Morning still, traffic
still within limits.
Altitude aircraft taxiing out for departure.
Thanks, traffic 6 by 6.
I'm going to plug my phone in. Actually, I think the phone is the doggone camera. Going yellow.
Juliet.
I'm going to turn this thing off for a minute. We got 36 minutes of footage, and right now it's shit that you already saw. We'll pick up later. Alright, we should be recording on both of them. I can use the iPhone.
Down and clear and runway. Also traffic.
I can use the iPhone as a remote. But I can't use it as a remote and record. I have to go up there and turn it on manually. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make that right turn. Bring it in. Today's my wife's birthday. Gotta go get her some birthday stuff. I sent her, she asked me to send her, or go get her lunch, and I was like, well, I'm going to try to fly if I can. So, and it is, she eats lunch at 12:45, which I would have never made it because it's 12:12 right now. And she knows I've been trying to get out for a minute. So what I did is I ordered her a big sub from Jersey Mike's and had it delivered to her work, so maybe that'll be okay. I hope. Yep. How far out away from what's up? Whistler traffic, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa, 4 miles to the southeast. I'm inbound for 04 altitude 1800 Whistler. Got another guy out there, he's still pretty good ways off. Start dropping a little out there. Yeah, I can feel the bumps from these clouds right here already. It's a good decision to go ahead and come on in. Alright, I got the airport side over there. Oh, I got this other guy, he's pretty good ways off, I think. Start losing a little bit of altitude here so we can come in. Load old girl down a little bit. You're done. So your pattern altitude, for those that may not know, is usually 1,000 feet over the runway, or excuse me, over in the airspace of the runway. And right now our elevation, runway elevation is 343 feet, I think. So pattern altitude's 1,300 feet. So that's why I'm slowing down and losing altitude. I'm at 1,500 right now, which is not a big deal because this plane sinks pretty quick, so I'll lose that altitude before I get there, I promise you. And the goal here is to slow down. I got to get to 95 miles an hour, and I'll start dropping flaps. Whistler traffic, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa is turning for 3 mile final 04 Whistler. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and bridge it up a little bit. We're at 1,300, which is pattern altitude. Start slowing her down, trim it out. Get her slow. So far, air is smooth. Hopefully that damn GoPro looks like it's recording. Let's get her lined up with the runway. Go ahead and give her a little carb heat too. I just want to have that problem. Alright, we are down to 5.
Whistler traffic, frequency 6 Yankee Lima is 8 mile final on the RNAV 22 into Whistler.
There's our 95. We'll pull our first flap. All right, so we're still slowing down. I'm gonna try to get to about 80, which is this plane seems like it's a happy spot. Go ahead and drop that second notch of flaps. That put us at 80 miles an hour. All right. Now, me personally, I like to do, when I get close, I got my carb heat on right now, which is to keep my carburetor from freezing up. I don't want no ice in my carb, but once I get close to the runway, I'm going to push that back in, because what it does is it robs a little bit of power from your engine when you do that. Silla traffic 270 Papa, short final, 04 Silla. I got the runway inside, trying to keep her lined up. All right, let's go ahead and push that carb heat in. The runway is made. Just got to guide it in now. Coming in at 80. Pulling back on that throttle. Dropping that altitude. Once we get over the runway, we're going to start pulling this flare back a little. All right. And pull flare, flare, flare. Let her sink. Nice. Damn, that was a good landing. And it's icy out here, so we're going to slow down nice and easy. Little broke loose. Just sliding right now. I'm going to have to turn around here. Missed my exit. Drop those flaps. Man, that was a nice landing. That was awesome. Silla traffic, 27 Papa clear, runway 4 Delta. That was awesome, dude. Love getting out and having a good flight, my bro. Beautiful day, too. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's why it can be a little slick out here sometimes. I tried to get off at that exit, but I was having to apply my brakes very easily. And of course, these things, it's almost like street tires on the car. You're not going to get a whole lot of traction out of them. So I kind of broke loose there a little bit. Of course, when you do, you can just steer the plane with your rudder. But I couldn't stop in time to make that turn, so we just had to make a turn all the way around there. Man, what a day, dude. Thankful I got to get out and get a little flight in. That's the first decent flight I've had in like over a month. I wish we could have stayed out a little bit longer, but like I said, I've got stuff to do. I gotta go do a little birthday shopping for the wife. It'd be really cool if those guys cleaned up around the plane, but I don't think they did. We'll see. They're out here pushing snow around earlier. It don't look like they did. Let's see. They did. Oh, gone it. I may try to push a little bit out. I don't know. That's my truck there in front of me, and that little plane on the other side, that belongs to the guy that I rent my site from. That was actually the first plane he ever owned, he said. And he can't get rid of it, he said. I think it's kind of the way I feel about this one. I really don't want to sell this plane, because this is the one I got my license in. And like an old dog, you get attached to them. This one's like an old dog. It's old as dirt. All right, let's turn this bad boy off here. Nice. All right, I'm gonna flip this switch over here. It's gonna turn my mic off. We'll talk in just a second. Cool. Turn my battery off. Take the key out. Set it up here. Yeah, so that was a good flight. Those are the ones that I like. The ones that I'm trying to have. Of course, a lot of guys say, turn this off. I think it may turn to, I don't know. Anyways, a lot of guys say that any flight that you can walk away from is a good flight. And I tend to agree with that. But I try to aim for the great flights, and that was, even though it's kind of short, that was a great flight, man. Nice and calm. Caught a couple little turbulence there, which is normal, especially up here. But one of the guys, like somebody in the lower 48 one time, I think I was looking at his plane that he had, and hey, I told him, he's like, where do you live at? And I said, well, I live in Alaska. And he's like, what part? And I said, up in Wasilla. And he's like, yeah, there's one thing that you learn to do up there. And he said, that is fly cold and fly in windy, turbulent conditions. I said, yeah, that's true. So, a lot of truth to that. But anyways, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to go home, and of course, maybe a day or two before I can edit this video. I don't know. But anyways, I'll go home and edit this video and see if we can't get something, halfway decent. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next round. Thanks.